This is the Thermophile trait, and that's right, your species will have an alloy upkeep. We've also got a new planet type, the Volcanic worlds, which you can start off with. They also have new basic districts, like the Magma Conduit, giving alloys and minerals. You also have the Thermotechnic forums that add unity and tech to other jobs. It looks insane. We've also got new species traits, update information, and Christmas jumpers. Let's get into it. Infernal pops and the Thermophilic trait. This species evolved tissues of metallic alloys to grow and thrive on hot planets where traditional organics would cook. These alloyed cells are slower to degrade and are replaced infrequently, delaying the onset of age-related diseases. They also conduct cold temperatures, which can threaten their health in colder climates. We might be told more of what this is, but we've got an alloy mention, so it's probably something to do with that. Slower aging or more leader lifespan, and don't think they can exist on colder climates. The Infernal species pack, we've decided to make them exist somewhere between lithoids and normal organics. Your pops will begin with the Thermophile trait, which replaces their food consumption with a small amount of alloys. That's pretty neat. So their food or minerals is alloys. They thrive on volcanic worlds, but suffer on colder planets. A new planet type being the Volcanic. Under normal circumstances, this changes their habitability preference screen, replacing Arctic, Alpine and Tundra world with Volcanic. We then have that Volcanic world. It looks pretty cool. Mustafar is going to be the name of this for many people. Rocky world with a sulfur-rich atmosphere and a partially liquid lithosphere. The ash and basalt-covered surface is interspersed with fresh volcanic activity, lava lakes, and rivers. Only extremorphile life forms can be found, if any. So nobody else will be able to live here except for those with volcanic preferences based on that. We do have the volcanic preference art, which looks pretty cool, the little logo. We then get to see the diplomatic room, which looks insane, and it nicely flows into the volcanic cityscape, which also looks insane, to be fair. Interestingly enough, we have new flag icons with this, which is always nice. I would be interested to see if we could still pick dry and wet. I doubt we can, but it's weird that that's still there. I guess this is purely a coding UI thing so that they didn't need to make a new volcanic preference for everyone. They've just kind of strapped it over the top of Arctic, and the others still exist, but might lock you out of starting the game. We then get a look at Thermophile and Volcanic preference. Let's have a look at these. Thermophile, nice little icon with the flame in the person. It's a 0.25 alloy upkeep per 100 pops. That's quite big. Organics 1 food and lithoids 1 mineral. So this is a quarter of that worth. Is that worth it? Alloys are quite useful. There's going to be some good combinations maybe though, where you could either just rush down alloys and this doesn't matter. You could even go maybe catalytic processing, so you're turning food into alloys because you don't need food for your people. We'll see. You might not be able to grow food on volcanic worlds though. You have 20% to volcanic world habitability. You get a minimum habitability on only volcanic worlds as 50%. On cold worlds, you get minus 30%, like we said before, and you get 10 leader lifespan. Now this trait thing is quite new and it's opened the possibilities for these. Mods can go crazy too, making custom species quite easily because it's a trait now. Unfortunately, you do have to be an infernal species to do this, so you can't do it with an existing portrait. I know there's a lot of debate between should it be locked behind it. That's how it is. I do get it, but also I do get just let the player do what they want, but with the species traits it's kind of a balancing thing too. And then we have the text below, which we've already read. Then we had the sick volcanic preference, 60% to volcanic, desert, arid, savanna. So yes, you might actually be able to pick those off the start from what we saw before. Then only 20% to tropical, continental and ocean. And obviously we're getting minus 30% to the cold. So if it's not volcanic or hot, you're screwed. But interestingly enough, if you go arid, desert or savanna preference, you get 60%. So Volcanic World kind of does that and hot climates. It's pretty cool. For those of you that have both lithoids and infernals, we'll let 2 of the lithoids be able to freely choose whether to be lithoid or infernal. The lithoid human portrait and the lava star. They'll have the phenotype trait based on the phenotype you were looking at when you selected them. Okay, interesting. That makes sense because they do look volcanic, as you can see from the screenshot. This does mean they can't be both, which wouldn't make sense mechanically, but you can just choose, which that's quite cool. If you're thinking about buying the Infernal Species Pack or Season 9, make sure to use mine or another creator's code or link. Mine's in the description and pinned comment, or you can use code EP for Stellaris at checkout. It gives us creators a kickback at no extra expense for you, do, and you get a Steam code from Paradox themselves. Now, back to the video. Volcanic Worlds. When Toxoid released, we included the Detox Ascension perk to allow you to build colonies on toxic terraforming candidates. This was the solution to the problem that we felt that we couldn't simply let you live on any toxic worlds, as they outnumbered normal habitable worlds 10 to 1. He made it clear that this wasn't terribly satisfying, because it did not let you fulfill the fantasy of living on toxic worlds until relatively late game. This is true. I don't know if you've ever played toxic stuff, you barely care. And I think anyone can take that Ascension perk. Again, you just don't care, because you either have one or two. It doesn't really matter. When discussing the initial designs for Infernals, we knew that we wanted to let you live on molten worlds right away, but we had the same problem. Molten worlds are also far too common to be trivially colonizable. It's true, the molten worlds are the ones that the arc furnaces get built on, and there's quite a few of them. So we created a new planet class, Volcanic Worlds. These are molten worlds that retain an atmosphere of sorts and have sufficient solid land to be considered at least semi-habitable. This is a great justification, lore-wise, for the mechanic not having it too strong, basically. So here we get a screenshot of the planet. We've got the cool city set. That is one of the greatest city sets ever. I love it. Get a look at the portrait leader, 100% habitable, colonized at game start, a size 21. Moving down, the planet looks quite normal. We've got a city district, we've got standard buildings there. Planet production, energy, minerals, science, influence, unity, trade, consumer goods, alloys, living metals. So it looks like we're going to be able to get a lot of living metals from Volcanic Worlds, which could be interesting for any builds that require that in the future. We'll see. We then get custom basic districts. We have the geothermal power plants with the new icon, and it looks like it's uncapped, interestingly enough, because there's 24. We have 24 city districts too. Same with the magma conduits, which has got a new image, and it's uncapped, 24. Then interesting enough, no food, like I mentioned before. Maybe there's no catalytic processing for this, but the Thermotechnic Forums Auxiliary Center with a science icon. New picture for it. There's none on game start, as this is the capital, but it looks like it's just going to give tech jobs. Now, interestingly, this is not uncapped. There's 6 of them. Could this be a tech rush species pack? We'll see. Volcanic Worlds replace mining districts with magma conduits and agricultural districts with Thermotechnic Forums. We do then get a screenshot of what these do. So the magma conduit is not just minerals. This will cost you 300 minerals and have a 240-day build time with an upkeep of 1. It will give 200 housing and 200 thermal forger jobs, very similar to normal districts. These thermal forgers, though, turn energy credits into minerals and alloys. This is quite similar to the Shattered Ring start, where it gives you minerals and alloys. I don't believe that has an energy upkeep on it. This is going to produce approximately 14 minerals and 1.45 alloys. So it's not loads of alloys, but it will help. And it has that energy upkeep of 2. I believe this is per 100, or maybe it's the full 200. Since the change, I have no idea what these numbers mean. A pickaxe and a cart are the foundation of civilized extraction. Then the Thermotechnic Forum. It has 10-day more build time, being 250 days, and 150 more minerals over the magma conduit. It also has a free energy upkeep, which is quite hefty. We have 200 housing, 200 Thermotechnic mentor jobs, with the jobs approximately giving 0.6 plus unity. I don't know what that means. That's not a flat amount of unity there. And it's the same for the physics and then 2 engineering. What? Is that one of them meant to be society? Maybe per 100 of the science jobs it adds to it, which is quite good, I guess. This hub of interdisciplinary collaboration and education helps the colony manage the geological dynamism of the planet. Hopefully they explain it coming up. Thermoforgers split their production between minerals and the alloys Infernals need to feed, and Thermotechnic mentor specialist jobs provided by the forums modify the production of thermoforgers, technicians, metallurgists, and artisans. Okay, let's break that down. Thermal forgers split their production between minerals and alloys Infernals need to feed. So the thermal forgers was the magma conduit, the mineral looking jobs. So it looks like some of them are getting minerals, some of them are getting alloys. Can you change this split? Or is that just a flat amount? Not sure. Then the Thermotechnic mentor specialist jobs modify the production of those thermoforgers, the technicians we have, and metallurgists and artisans. So I think what they're doing every time you build one is they're adding plus 0.6 to all those jobs, or is it just one of them? Can we change it? Interesting mechanic. I like how it's a bit different for the DLC. In some of the speculation around Volcanic Worlds since the announcement, I've seen a few of you suggest the idea of converting toxoids to a similar system using corrosive worlds. I like the idea, but it's not likely to happen in the near future. That'll be for the custodian. I don't want them to be exactly the same. I think you do want some differences, but I don't know how you fix toxoids without kind of doing what this is doing. We're now moving on to infernal species traits. Picture is worth 1,000 words, so the infernal species traits are Crucible Community. Edict fund for each 100 pops with this trait, plus 0.1. Simple as that. Tempered by adversity and bound by shared struggle, this species has been forged into an unbreakable hull. Their collective will fuels governance, each member a vital link in the chain of unity. I like that. There's no traits that affect Edict Fund. This will do that. Edict Fund build could go burr. Pyroclastic Channeling. Pop growth speed on Volcanic worlds, plus 10%. I don't know how much I like that. Rapid Breeders 10%, but it costs 2. So maybe this will cost only 1, or maybe it can stack with Rapid Breeders. I really hope it's not just a 2 cost, because it would just make it pointless. And I hope Crucible Community is a 1 or 2, since it's okay, it's not amazing. It just saves on some unity if you want loads of edicts. But the Crucible Community definitely gets better as time goes on, because you'll just have more and more pops. But later game, you don't really care about unity, because you're going to have lots of unity production. Don't know how good that trait will be. The description for Pyroclastic Channeling is shaped by the relentless fury of volcanic worlds. This species does not fear pyroclastic forces. They channel and manipulate them, transforming devastation into a vital source of sustenance and power. Shell slag. That's a very... Okay, every 100 pops working as a slave or better produces 0.005 living metals per month. This might be where that screenshot came from with the living metals, because they did not say anything about it. Has to be infernal species trait. An intricate symbiosis with living metal allows this species to grow not in the traditional sense, but through the accretion and self-assembly of bioferrous structures. I wonder if we'd actually get any living metal edicts stuff to do with that. As currently you can only really use it for living reactive armor, living metal mega construction, and that's it. I guess you could sell it, but hopefully something comes from that. Then we have Unbreakable Resolve. Stability per 100 pops with this trait on the same planet, 0.2, with a max of 15. If I've done the math right, you need 7,500 pops with the same trait to get the maximum stability. It's alright. Hopefully it doesn't cost that much. None are really that game changing from what I can see. Depends on their cost. Interestingly, this doesn't have a trait category where you have to be infernal on Unbreakable Resolve. 15 stability is some good buffs, but stability, as long as it's over 50 early game, doesn't really matter too much. It's just more of a min-max later on. Bound by an intricate web of mirror neurons, these individuals possess an innate ability to synchronize their will. Duty is not a burden, but a shared purpose, and hardship is met with unwavering unity. Interesting, no negative traits. I'm not sure there's more. These might just be it. There is a lot more infernal content to come, as next week we will be looking at the Cosmic Dawn origin, the Infernal Civics, and get a better look at the ship set. We also get a different look at the port traits, which looks all pretty cool. So make sure to subscribe so you get all the news on that. We also are getting the 4.1.7 open beta branch with some improvements and balance changes. Mainly Cradle of Souls has been nerfed, hard reset buffed, and then a bunch of bug fixes and modding and stability. We do get some news of updates. Originally planned for the 4.2 open beta, the 4.1.7 open beta also includes a test of some safe-ish changes to how modifiers are applied behind the scenes. Now, I did kind of misunderstand this in one of the dev diaries talking about it. I believe it was 399. I thought this meant the balance to it, not how it worked in the code base. My bad. This may have some small hardware-dependent performance effects, mostly in the mid to late game, but lays the groundwork for some more radical changes that are planned for the ongoing open beta. So basically these changes, the safe and dangerous ones, are not balanced necessarily. It's how they're applied to help performance. If all goes according to plan, 4.1.7 will be released early next week, though these modified changes will not be moving as part of it to go live yet. There may be additional fixes included in the release. For example, some slavery and pop category issues that also affect necrophages have been identified by a player, FS Naneemdu, and are currently being investigated. Development continues as described in Dev Diary 399. On the design side, alongside the advanced ship hull experiments, we've created a branch focused on economic balancing and moderating many sources of non-linear growth. So that is changing the balance, but they're also doing code-based changes, which does get a bit confusing. The custodian programmers are currently focusing on the more advanced modified dependency system, multiplayer stability, and a system that will give us better tracking of performance-related issues. We also have some jolly news. There's a limited offer to buy Stellaris and other games' Christmas sweaters. These sweaters are well beloved within the Stellaris team, and now we can get some too. his hat and socks too. Bury him in trade, and we'll be able to convince him to make a new design for the next holiday season. I need it. I don't even know. Paradox, please send me, but I might just buy it anyway in case you don't, because I really want it. I don't have a Christmas jumper for this year. That is it. I'm going to wear it outside. Go watch this video about psionic hives. I'll see you there. Goodbye.